Moving ahead, the wrist and hand. Here the extrinsic muscles of the fingers cross multiple joints, may be influenced by position of elbow and forearm because of their crossing the elbow joint, forearm and wrist before reaching the joints of hand. Most of the wrist flexor and extensors are attached proximally on epicondyles of the humerus. For wrist and hand, the patient's position will be in sitting. Forearm is supported on the table so that the forearm is stabilized. To increase wrist flexion, we have to perform stretching of wrist extensors. Hand placement is the forearm may be supinated in mid position or pronated. We have to stabilize the forearm against the table and grasp the dorsal aspect of patient's hand. To elongate the wrist extensors, we have to flex patient's wrist and allow the fingers to extend passively. If we want to further elongate the wrist extensors, we may extend the patient's elbow. Now, while performing this first technique, we have to learn and keep in mind about the active and passive insufficiencies which you have learned in biomechanics. As long muscles are working across multiple joints, while stretching we have to specially look for the passive insufficiencies and allow movements at certain joints by performing stretching at other joints. Now moving to the wrist extension. Here again the patient is in sitting position, forearm is pronated or in mid position. Patient's hand is grasped at palmar aspect of the hand. Now if there is severe wrist contracture of flexors, it may be necessary to place patient's hand over the edge of the treatment table so the fingers are not touching the plinth or surface of bed. Optionally, we can keep a rolled towel or napkin below the forearm as shown in the image. We have to stabilize the forearm against the table, and then to lengthen the wrist flexors, we have to extend patient's wrist, allowing the fingers to flex passively.